Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Venley Place and my name is Lisa. Today I'm going to be doing a Sunday reset. I promise a tornado did not go through my house. It was my grandkids, who are 2.5 and 4.5. They came by and spent the weekend with us, and I don't know about y'all, but when my grandkids come over, everything else pretty much just stops. When they're here, it's all about playing and snacking and just having a really good time. The kids do have their own room here. When my daughter-in-law first told me she was pregnant with my granddaughter, which was our first grandbaby, I turned our guest room into a kid's room. And they have a bed in there, and they have a little dresser with their own little drawers. And they keep all their toys and coloring books and stuff like that in there. They even have their own house shoes for when they come over and it's cold out. Because as you can see, I don't have carpet anywhere. And so my floors get a little cold in the winter. But, sometimes the living room is just a little bigger and they can have a lot more fun in the living room. When our boys were little, we used to get them these Hot Wheel road sets, and they would come with a little building and a couple of pieces of road. And Vince hung on to a bunch of them, and he built this for our grandkids. He painted it black and used a little paint marker to make all the white lines on it, and he just glued it to a board. And all of the little buildings and stuff he's kind of just picked up like at the Goodwill or at the Dollar Tree. And I thought that was pretty cool. They just love it. I have lots of pictures in the living room, as you can see. Usually pictures, they kind of just get shoved in a drawer or box. But like I talked about a few videos ago, I think remembering our ancestors is very important. Unfortunately, Vincent and I both lost our moms before the grandkids were born. So I keep pictures of them on the fireplace, as well as pictures of our grandparents. And when the little ones come over, we do look at them and talk about who they are. It's a lot of fun for them, as well as educational, even though they don't realize it's educational. And, really, if you think about it, it's such a blessing to be living in a time where you can have pictures of your great grandparents, or like I have video of my mom, so the kids can actually hear her voice. And Vince has pictures and videos of his mom, and the kids get to see, get to hear their voice and see them animated and not just in a still picture. And so I think it's just a real blessing, and they might not appreciate it right now, but when they get older, they'll appreciate it a lot. I feel like grandparents play a lot of roles in a family dynamic. And I feel like one of those roles, at least for me, is keeping the family lore alive, making sure that my grandkids know who their tribe is and who their people are, and keeping some of those stories alive, just so that our ancestors are always remembered. That's just a really important thing for me to do. And I had to learn Vince's ancestry a little bit too. So I've had some conversations with his dad about who is who and things like that. And I think it's really important. You're going to see my poor little bear hop off the couch, and he's got a bum leg right now. About a week and a half ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago, he went outside to go potty, and when he came in, he didn't want to walk on his foot. I let it go for a day or so, and he just would not put any weight on his foot. So I thought, oh no, he's broke it, because it was very swollen and hot. So I took him to the vet, and the vet did x-rays, and he said that he didn't see any breaks in it, but that he probably torn a ligament in his little foot. And yet still to this day, he does not want to walk on it. He's putting a little weight on it once in a while, but he's not walking on it. And so the vet said to bring him back in like 2 to 3 weeks if, it wasn't any better. So I'm afraid that I might have to take him back in. We're not really sure what happened. So the little white dog, that is Bunny. She is my daughter Jada's puppy, and she's almost 11 months old. She's a miniature poodle. If you watch my last video of cleaning Jada's back room, you'll see Bunny in it. Her and Milo are at a certain age now, and Milo has a couple of issues that he needs taken care of. And until he can make it into his appointment, Bunny is going to stay with us. She's just a sweetheart. She's just a cuddle bug, and she likes to just follow me everywhere I go. She's so precious. We spent a lot of time coloring over the weekend, and one of Vince's favorite snacks is grape jelly and saltine crackers. So of course we had to have some of that while we were coloring and doing puzzles and doing little crafty things. And the kids just love them. Our kids grew up with them too, and they love jelly crackers still yet today, and they're all grown and married. I wouldn't say that my daughter-in-law has necessarily a strict diet for the kids, but she does monitor what they eat very closely. She doesn't like them to have sugar, preservatives, dyes, and things like that in their food. So when they come over, I have to abide by her wishes, but at the same time, she also knows that they're going to get, a few sweet treats at Grammy's, which is okay with her as long as it's not too much. And, because they don't eat sugar, they, if they just get just a little bit, man, they're just bouncing off the walls. So I'm real careful with how much sugar I give them when they're here. They still have fun. They've got little yogurt treats and things like that I keep for them in the pantry. And they have their own shelf in the pantry. And so when they come over, they will go straight to their little shelf and they'll get their little snacks like dehydrated apples or, like I said, yogurt drops or, things like that. So it's really fun. Where I live in northeastern Indiana, every year about this time we have a midwinter thaw and it will get very muddy outside, like if it was, April or May. And on this day, it was 50 or 55 degrees out and it was just really nice. So I just left the back door open to air out the house a little and to just let the dogs run in and out as they wanted. So, of course, they're going to get mud on their little paws and they track it all in the house. So I just did what my mom used to call damp mop, where you just get your mop wet and just wring it out. And it's kind of like more like wiping off the floor than it is necessarily mopping the floor. Either way, I got a lot of the dust up and a lot of the mud that they had brought in. But of course, they tracked more in. So, it was kind of pointless. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that I think grandparents play a lot of roles in the family dynamic. And I feel like one of those roles is kind of as a support system for the parents, your kids. Uh, they need a break from their kids, just like we did when our kids were little. But the kids also need a break from their parents as well, especially in the winter here in the north where it's really cold during the winter. And they get cabin fever just like grown folks do. And sometimes, it just helps the change of environment, just to go somewhere new and hang out for a while, help them get rid of some of that built up energy inside of them. And Vincent, when the kids are here, he's just like a giant kid himself. So They have a lot of fun with their grandpa. They play the entire time they're here. Their grandpa wants to build forts and run around the dining room table and scream and yell, and they play parkour on my couch. Me, I'm the grandma that's like, come on, let's sit down and color and do a puzzle, and let's eat some juicy snacks and maybe go cook something. So, it's a fine balance. Another thing that I think is really cool for our grandchildren is the fact that Vincent and I are friends with my daughter-in-law's parents. So when we have family cookouts and things like that, both sets of grandparents are together and we're friends. Growing up, I don't know that my grandma ever talked to my dad's mom, honestly. Vince said the same thing. He didn't think that his two grandmas ever really knew that much about each other. But we literally have Thanksgiving together, Christmas together, family cookouts in the summer, every birthday party we're together. So it's really cool for the kids, I think. Usually when the kids spend the weekend with us, by the time they go home on Sunday afternoon, Vincent and I need a nap. We really do. You definitely have to be young to raise toddlers, that's for sure. When my kids were little, it seemed like they just grew up within the blink of an eye. Before you know it, they were teenagers and then adults, and now they're married and starting their own families. And that's why, I just really don't worry about the mess when my grandbabies are here. It'll be there when I'm ready to clean it. But the grandbabies won't be this little for very long. So I'm just going to take the time that I have now and enjoy it because it won't last forever. But the mess will. So, not worried about it. Well, I'm going to sweep and mop the floor, and Vincent's going to take the garbage out. And that's about it. We'll be all done with resetting the house, ready for another week. As always, I appreciate your guys' time, and I thank you very much for watching. And if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see some more of our content, just hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.